Kia ora e te whānau. We are back for another week. Just. Sharpen up. We're down a crew member. Pity. Sent a late message. Not as late as yours, Jordan, but he did send one late today saying, sorry, whānau.
What do you reckon?
Won't be on the potty.
No reason either.
No reason.
Ooh.
So
mysterious.
Well, there's a few possible reasons. The Broncos lost on the weekend. His team. Maybe he didn't want to front up.
the Hurricanes drew.
That's two of his teams. Then
spearfishing competition. He came second to last, which I'm very pleased about. There's a few reasons there.
So maybe he's just having a break, having a day off. He didn't want to show up and get it from you two. How was everyone's long weekend? Jordan, I'll start with you. How was yours?
Good. Just relaxing. Doing a little bit of, what do you call it, R&R?
Yes.
In my my little garage mahal that I stay. Hey, Mum and Dad's garage. That's the name of the whare.
Garage mahal.
The garage mahal.
Yeah.
Just chilling out. No Easter Bunny visited my whare. Probably because, when my kids were young, I told them the farmer would come and shoot the bunnies just to save me some money, kill. So no Easter Bunny at my whare.
So the traditions continued.
We don't, try not to fall into this capitalism stuff that's happening out there. So no chocolate for me, but good for my pre-diabetic. No, sorry.
What do you normally do for Easter, bro?
For the long weekend?
It just depends. This is my first Easter weekend in Ngaroa Wāhia. And I tell you, it was going off and nah. She was a quiet one in Ngaroa. Yeah, what about you fellas?
I had mahi, so worked on the Waz game. So that pretty much took up my Friday, Saturday, and we'll get to that a bit later. And then, just had a break for the next 2 days, which was nice. And straight back into mahi today. Api, how about you?
What about as a whānau? What do you guys normally do for?
We usually, all my whānau were together in Australia, so they all get together across the 4 days, do an Easter egg hunt for
there it is.
for the kids.
There's the bunny.
We live in the city, so there's no farmers to shoot the bunny. So he made it to Australia, and then just whānau time, feed, some cards, all of that. But unfortunately, I had mahi, so I couldn't shoot across the ditch to go and see them this Easter.
Yeah, for myself, like growing up, Easter's always been a pretty big thing in our whānau. Like, my mum's Catholic, so she'd always make us go to church. But it also reminded me of, like, when I was overseas. Easter was normally like a lonely time too, because I'd be overseas and all my whānau would be over here. Court, you'd understand that too. And they'd all be, getting together and spending some quality time together. And I remember a few years ago in Newcastle, there was me there with a couple of my mates, Māori boys, and we were all over there playing, and we were like, what should we do? And
playing for the Knights?
Playing for the Knights at the time, and we were like, what should we do? And we were on the kaupapa at that time, bro. We were like, training, so no waipiro, no going out. So we were like, I had this bright idea. I was like, brothers.
Here we go.
Brothers, why don't we go to church? And they were like, you're like thinking about the idea. They weren't, really into their whakapono. So I was like, all you need to do is, put some nice clothes on. And, Easter's normally a big, been to the big cathedral in Newcastle. So we turn up, bro, me and my two brothers, and I walk through this cathedral, and I was walking, and I was like, Easter Friday, I think it was, and there was no one there. And I was like, hey, there's heaps of old people there, like kaumatua, and I was like looking around, I was like, this is unusual, like, no one's here Easter Friday, like, it's quiet. And I was like, all good, take a seat. So we're sitting there, and my two brothers sitting there. And then they're like looking at me, what's going on? I was like, no, all good, just believe me, follow me. Follow me
into the cathedral.
And then the priest walks out, bro, and he gets up and he starts speaking in Italian.
Buongiorno.
And then I'm looking at my brothers. My brothers are like staring at me like, what have you done? And like when I get embarrassed, bro, I get the giggles. Like that's like, so I'm like losing it. And like it makes sense. All these kaumatu were all Italian and fluent in Italian, so I made the boys go to the Italian mass. But what made it worse, bro, I was like, nah, we're going to go up, and because I did the Holy Communion and that, so I said, I'm going to go up and get a blessing from the priest. And he was like, nah, I'm not doing that, bro. I was like, just follow me. Trust me. Follow me. And you're just going to follow me. I'm going to put my hands out and get the holy bread. But you just put your hands behind your back, and then, you know, the priest will give you a quick blessing. And they're like, oh, okay, sweet. So I go up, I get the body of Christ. And then I look back at my bro, and he's like, yeah, got his hands behind him. And then the priest holds the bread up, and then all of a sudden my bro starts doing the Pukana. The priest starts putting the bread in his tongue, bro.
Putting the bread in his mouth.
And I'm like sitting and we walk back to the seats, bro, and sit down, and my bro goes, bro, it's still in my mouth. Do I eat it? Oh, I'll never forget that experience with some of my And that's probably the first and last time I've gone to church with those boys.
You spoiled it
Yes,
for them.
They never went back.
Never went back. But yeah, that's one memory that always will stick with me around Easter time and playing sport and living abroad. So shout out to those brothers who followed me.
Who believed in you, who followed you. Oh, that was a good one. I'm crying.
For a minute there, I thought you were walking into a tangi, bro.
Bro.
I thought you were. Next minute it was a tangi.
That's probably the only way it could get worse.
Bro, you went on Easter Friday, and then the follow they passed away. Probably woke up on Monday. Oh, heck.
Hey, and I said to my bros, they were like, what do we need? They were freaking out. And I was like, bro, just wear nice clothes and just have heaps of coins in your pocket.
For the collection plate.
For the collection. So, you know, part took and part took
Yeah.
and that experience. So
Did they share that experience with the rest of the team and the rest of the breathers?
Bro, if you know these two boys, they are like over 100 kg strong props. Like we were so out of place, bro.
Can you give us an example, George?
Oh, bro, I was losing it. He was giving me the death stare of doom. One of them, his name's Josh. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, that's a goodie. We can always count on you, Uppy, for some good yarns.
I know, honestly, I'm just going to tell myself right now, never go with Uppy anywhere.
Anywhere.
I've already taken that mental note down for sure. And then never let him do the karakia either.
There's a theme here, right? Cathedrals, karakia. Oh, that's a good one. Okay, so we'll get into some sport. E te whānau, and today it was announced that Portia Woodman-Whitcliffe, who was retiring from the black jersey after winning the gold medal last year with the Black Fern Sevens at the Paris Olympics. She's played Super Rugby Aupiki and won this year with the Blues, and it's come out today that she will continue, will not go into retirement, and is going to play for the Black Ferns, and has put her hand up for the Rugby World Cup. So exactly, first of all, how good is that? In that I was watching her interviews today, that she just feels so much passion and pride and playing alongside her sisters here in Aotearoa that she wants to keep going.
Man, that's mean. That is mean. I mean, why wouldn't she though? Like, she's gone.
I wonder what that conversation would have been, eh? Like who she would have had that conversation with. Who would have, you know, you've retired, and it's not easy to get someone out of retirement. So,
it's almost as quick as retirement, like Sean Johnson's quickest retirements in history.
Yeah.
And you wonder if her, I guess some of the senior players that she's played with in the black jersey have said, come on, sis, just come on. One last World Cup with us.
Yeah, well, as you said, she's been winning. You know, like if she's on top of her game still, and why would you? You know, like people say, "I retire while you worry at the top," but I think she must, you know, still feel she's got more in the tank, and yeah, she's just, as I said in past weeks, she's one of our most influential wahine. And one thing I did learn, bro, about Portia is...
Here we go.
no, she was actually in the Silver Ferns camp
Are you serious?
Yeah,
with Courtney.
with me.
What?
Back in the Ra, yeah. So
Damn.
my first Silver Fern camp, I remember Portia was sitting next to me. We were both there as invitees. And so she was with the Mystics at that time. I'd just come over from Australia. So we both had our first Silver Ferns camp together. And she stayed with the Mystics maybe for a year or two, but that's when Rugby Sevens put out that they were looking for athletes once it had been accepted as a sport in the Olympics. And yeah, Portia went across and has never looked back, and good on the sis. But yeah, she was a Silver Fern, very good netballer. But yeah, she went across to play rugby, and
Yeah, that's mean.
she's just thrived.
I was thinking about it too when we interviewed Brax, and I was like, this girl could probably jump onto the netball court. And
Or
just
any
come-
sport.
Yeah. Anything, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was thinking too, like with Portia, it's not that we don't have a lack of talent coming through either.
Yeah.
Like we got some pretty good
Yes.
young wahine coming through as well. But I guess too, having that leader, like you were saying before, and the experience she has, that's just going to do wonders for the young ones coming through as well.
But it's also like, for me, like the evolution of sport for wahine, you know,
Yeah.
like that was probably the only option for our wahine back then, you know.
Actually.
But actually, eh?
Yeah.
So like it's just opened the door to, you know, and she's gone and clocked everything.
Yeah.
You know, she's gone and clocked the rugby, the sevens, you know, would have been the netball if you know,
Yeah.
these other opportunities. So big mihi to, to the sis for just doing it.
I'd love to see her in league.
Wow, and that's the thing, right? Because she did have her sights set on playing in the NRLW this year, but they disallowed that because it wouldn't work with the calendar, the schedule that she had. So I think it is a big loss to the NRLW, but a big win, obviously, for the Black Ferns. But you're right. I mean, she would have been damaging in league.
Imagine her if the back fence killed her.
Oh. No, thank you.
Should be unreal.
That'd be wicked.
She won the Super Rugby Aupiki Player of the Final, and then just on last Thursday night, the Blues beat the Waratahs in the Super Rugby Champions Final, which is she also played alongside Braxton Sorrison McGee, who was our guest last week. And I mean, how good was she? 2 tries. And she just has this ability to create something out of nothing. Or I even said, I was like, how is no one tackling her? She must be so fast, so strong at such a young age.
Rookie of the year, surely,
Yeah,
right? Like,
right.
100.
accolades coming her way for sure. I don't know if they do awards or whatnot, but she needs to.
Yeah.
It needs to be acknowledged.
Like so impressed by her.
Yeah,
Like last
that's crazy.
week.
And she was
Like-
here, and she's so tiny.
Like that was the thing. Like whānau, like when you see her in person, like I was like, wow, she's tiny. Like,
And you see her take on.
and she can just, oh my God, just evade all those tackles, her speed, her courage. Like there was a moment in that
Yes.
final
Yeah.
when she caught it and she just ran it straight. I think it was like a blindside flanker, like a 6, you know.
She ran it straight at her.
One of their strongest defenders. And this girl's got it all. So, yeah, shout out to Brax. And
Yeah, big
it was Mickey having her on last week.
Yeah, it was unreal. And as you said, she spoke about playing kia ora. She could do anything. She said last week, obviously, with her winning Super Rugby Aupiki was a great win for her. No doubt winning the Champions Final was another big win for her. I want to know, here's my partai to both of you. What's your best sporting win that you've had? Who are we starting with?
I think I remember we would have been under 18s. It was like the first Māoris tournament, the first ever Rangatahi Māoris tournament.
League.
Yeah. It was in Manurewa.
Manu rewa.
Oh.
Yeah, so I was second rowing for Sam Rapira,
Yeah.
which is a pretty great place to be
Yes.
if you're just running behind him. But yeah, that was probably one of the biggest ones. And then my second biggest win is the first time I ever beat my old man in Euchre.
Oh,
I mean, talk about bragging rights.
Yes.
Hey, Euchre's a very, very serious Māori sport. I don't know.
Absolutely.
that is up there, Yuka.
So
How old were you?
I would have been about 31. It took me a while to get there, but if you ever, the banter is real at the tepu.
Oh, it is.
Like, talk about psychological warfare in sport. The mental strength you need on the Euchre table anywhere in Aotearoa, any marae, whānau kaupapa. Sometimes, there's major whānau disputes.
Yeah.
But that's probably my one of my greatest wins.
Now, you've got your tamariki here. Have they beaten you, played you in Euchre?
Oh, you can ask them about any sport, really. In my whānau, you actually have to earn the dub. I don't care if it's checkers or we're playing last card. You better come with it. You're going to get the smoke. Because I don't know. That's the way that I like to teach them. If you want to beat me, you got to actually earn it. Ain't no participation awards around here.
I'm looking out to the control room trying to see if they're signalling if they have actually beat you.
Nah, that is a good game though, the Euchre. Like growing up with even I was lockdown, bro. Lockdown 2020. That's when our whānau really got into those arguments and playing Euchre. And trumping your partner is rule number one.
Amateur.
And it's I just like the psychological part of the game where you can sort of cheat a little.
Yeah, you got your cheat code?
Yeah, hard. It's like certain family members. We just think the same. We don't even have to. We're just connected like that. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's an interesting time to play it too in lockdown, because if there are those arguments, it's not like anyone could have left.
Storm off to the kitchen.
But yes, that is a tino sport, the game of Euchre, especially at our pāwals. Our nannies are guns at it.
Oh, yeah. Api, for you, your best sporting win?
Best sporting win. I haven't won much. No, titles, but couple. Probably winning the Lahore Cup in 2023, I think it was, or 2022. Can't remember the year. That was a pretty special win because representing the iwi and seeing just the joy in the whānau. That's probably one that I'll keep close. And the last year winning the Waka National League tournament for the Waka division for my iwi too in rugby league. So that was another favourite win, and just getting out there and representing the iwi. So that'd probably be mine too.
For me, it's probably playing when I was in the ANZ Premiership, and our coach had come over from Australia. We were playing for Magic down in the Waikato, and she'd put a team together of quite experienced players, which a lot of teams these days like to go with the younger ones, but she was very steadfast in going with more experience, and starting to just, bleed some of the younger ones through. And so before the season started, we were written off. All the media, has-beens, even the coach was a has-been. They'd done stuff in their career, but there's no way that they're going to be any good. They'll be lucky to win a game this year.
Damn.
I know.
Damn.
And then we came out, and we just believed in ourselves. She told us, shut out all the noise, just believe in what we're doing here, and, we'll be right, pretty much. And then we won our first game of the season, so I think we shut up a few critics, but then it just kept rolling on, and we weren't meant to win. We ended up winning the New Zealand Conference and coming third overall, but it's when we went, there was a game we went down to Invercargill to play the Steel. We weren't meant to beat them. We weren't meant to win the New Zealand Conference. We ended up beating them down in Invercargill. And when the streamers go off when a team wins and you get the trophy? They weren't. They were the Steel colours. They weren't our colours.
Nah.
No one had faith that we were
Damn.
going to win at all season, right up until that game.
Wow.
And the Streamers were still the wrong colours.
Shame on them.
What was can you think back, like, what was in your guys' culture? Like, what, you know, you've obviously played for other teams. What was it? Was it the leadership in the girls? Was it the whanaungatanga amongst the group? Like, what sort of stands out for you in that campaign?
I think it starts from the top down, and it started with the coach, and she created a really good culture. And I've spoken about it before, where it was you're always a player first off the court, and then if you're happy off the court, you're happy on the court. So she created that environment. There were a lot of us who weren't from Waikato. We had players from England, Australia, just from all over, really. So she created a real whānau culture for us down there. We really relied on each other, became really close, and we just had that. She kind of just said, you know, we're here for a purpose. We're away from all our families, including her. So let's just be a whānau for this 6 months, and let's make it the best time we can. And then I think it just rolled onto the court, and we were just happy to play together and be surrounded by each other. And it was just that kind of, you know, that sisterhood, that brotherhood, where you do anything for your teammate next to you out on court. You know, and I think there's nothing better than that when, you know they've put in the hard work, you're going to go for every ball, and so are they, and you just had that trust within each other, and that really started from the top down.
Yeah. That point there is like having that you do anything for each other. Like having that feeling in sport is like one of the most up there feelings. Like, you know, like, and that's what I think is the difference when I play for my iwi, is because I'm playing for my whakapapa. I'm playing with my blood, my bones.
Yeah.
You know, and to create a culture like that with people from all over the world, that's different. But when you're actually playing with, you know, your bones and your blood, you'd do anything for them. And I think that's the peak of sport, that feeling.
Yeah, I remember when we won our little rangatahi comp and we went back to Hopuopu to meet with the kingitanga.
Yeah.
And that, for me, being from Waikato, like, that meant more to me than anything else. Like, it was a Māori comp, the sport that I love, rugby league, and then representing Waikato Māori, and then going back to the king and being like, yeah, it is.
And what was that like for you?
It was good, because bittersweet. I had actually fell into rugby league because I had been banned from another sport.
Oh, people.
Yeah. Because of my coach. My coach / dad. So it was actually really nice, like similar, bittersweet. Like, I got kicked out of rep teams, like NZ trials, everything. Like, I was following my old man's pathway, and then the tempo got the best of me, and then everything went gone. Like, no one wanted to touch me at all. And then the league, like, my bro's dad, he just found out about it. It's a complete league boy. Used that aggression to me. You know, and then it just fell into play, and then managed to get myself into some good teams. And then I found myself there. It was like, whoa. And then meeting players like Stevie and Sam Peter, all the bros from Huntly, Naruawahia, like in Hamilton areas, and then realising that, oh wow, I really love this sport. And then Nick minute out, it's the king. So that was pretty key for me as well, bro.
And you know, like how you spoke about your uncle, you know, picking you up, or, you know, you sort of just fell into the sport. I think that's like the story for majority, you know, of young rangatahi, you know, who are just sort of doing nothing, especially I think on the coast, you know, like there's so much talent there, and you sort of just go and take them and show them something, and they just excel, and, you know, and they're just so naturally talented. But that's the part. It's those uncles and those parents who go out of their way to give those opportunities, and, you know, you might meet the king one day.
The Queenie now.
The Queenie now, yeah. You know, so I think that's an important, you know, because I think about my experience too, and that was sort of the same as, like, I was this Pākehā guy living in Manawatu in Palmerston North. Palmerston North was a rugby city, no league at all at that time, and he was just like, hey boys, do you want to come in the car with me? There's like the Newcastle Knights are holding a trial in Wellington.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, yeah. Like, because we just sort of went to this one random training, like trying to grow rugby league in Palmy in the 90s. It was not 90s, probably 2000s. And, you know, like, it was me, a guy called Kila Nakavi, and Nani Lomape, and there was one other. But, you know, Nani, from that experience, got into the Warriors, went on to be an All Black. Now he's playing in Japan.
Overseas,
you know,
yeah.
but that was just my experience. But I know that's probably the experience of so many kids. It's just by chance you jump in a random car with I can't even...
Don't do that today, kids, if you're listening.
But, yeah, anyway, that's...
Ask Mum and Dad.
That was it. Like, I literally... The recruitment manager of Newcastle, she was like, where's your parents? I was like, oh, they're 2 hours away. They're in Palmerston North. And I was like, I'll give them this. I was like, I got given this. I couldn't even bloody read English at that time. And I gave it to my mum. They're like, oh, this is a 2-year scholarship for...
Wow.
You know, like, if I didn't jump in that car that day, I probably would have been a doctor. But, you know, like, yeah, just those sort of... Shout out to those uncles and those aunties who pull those kids into the cars and... you know,
Drive them to the training.
Drive them to the training. Drive them all across the country to give those kids experiences. So, yeah, I'll never forget that bloke that took us to Wellington that day.
Mean. Well, while we're on the topic of rugby league, shall we talk about the Waz?
Mate.
And that game on the weekend, they beat the Broncos 20-18 in extra time. 6-6 at halftime. And the Broncos, I mean, they started really hot. Walters, he scored in the first couple of minutes, but then the Warriors, they fought their way back into it. They scored the next 4 tries. Then the last 20 minutes, because I was sitting on the sideline for Mahi, and it's the wind, the rain, it was just horrible conditions. But we're up 4-1 at that point, and I was like, oh, we're all right here. 20 minutes to go. But you can never do that, can you? Because the Bronx, they come back in the last 20 minutes, they score twice, and then they send it into extra time. What were you guys thinking watching this one?
I mean, I'll wait for the bros. Like,
Analysis.
He's been there, you know. He's been at that top level. As a fan, always keep the faith first and foremost, up the Waz. But, like, yeah, your blood pressure goes up. And as stressful as, it's almost matched my cholesterol levels as well. But I don't know. As a fan, as I say again, it's really cool to see them play a full 80. Like, it's awesome. I'm happy with that. Like, just to see them. And then the young blood coming through.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
What?
Yeah.
Some of those forwards in the pack, just unreal.
I reckon that's why Pity's not here today, whānau.
Hi, how come?
Couldn't face us.
Yeah.
He didn't want to talk about this one specifically.
Talk about his hoihos. They didn't turn up, bro.
He had a lot of chat last week, didn't he?
He was piping up. No show.
We're gone missing.
But yeah, I agree. Like, and you know, losing players like James Fisher-Harris, you know, like leaders like that.
RTS wasn't playing?
Yeah,
Well,
RTS.
they were without 140 NRL game experience with all their injuries. Through Rocco Berry, Chance was out as well. So 140 games NRL experience, not on the field, and they're still able to do that because the Broncos were sitting second or third on the ladder heading into this game.
And the Bronx are a team that can put points on, but they struggled to even look like scoring, you know. And that's the good thing about the Waz is their wins are just gritty wins, you know. They're just staying in it. We're not quite like pumping yet, but you know, early on in the season, you
talked about
take
peaking.
the points.
Was it last week?
No,
Maybe
they're just building.
Yeah.
You know, blooding these young ones. Jacob Laban got a game in
Yeah.
the weekend. He's a kid that I'm really looking forward to see. You know,
Like a
growing.
Halisima got his first start in the 11 jersey. He was
Yeah.
unreal. Went
Yeah.
over for a try.
He made it look easy too.
Didn't he? Like, he just strolled on through.
Is it easy, Kill?
Sometimes it can be, but
Yeah.
he's just, and like when you're that young too, you just like you're fearless.
Yeah.
You know, so I can just see he's just like, he's so fearless. He's so, and like some coaches try and restrict that in young players, but I reckon the best coaches are the ones who just say, go out, express yourself, show us what you got, and he's already got some Mickey highlights. And
Well, that was he's scored 3 tries in consecutive games, a try each game, which is unreal. We also have to give a mihi to Adam Pompey, who played his 100th game.
Yeah,
Wets, yeah, that's a huge achievement, Aupiki, in the NRL.
yeah, that was cool. I don't know if you guys seen his clip on socials.
Yes.
When he's like 15, I don't know, he's training somewhere and he's talking about wanting to play in the NRL, and yeah, just that's looking at that kid and looking at where he is now. It's big mihi to him and big mihi to his whānau and community. To play 100 games for the Wās is a huge achievement. So e mihi ana ki a koe, bro, and hopefully many more to come.
If I take us back to the game itself, when it's full time and it's even, and then Reece Walsh off the kickoff, Aupiki, you're laughing, he kicks it dead. I want to know, how hard is that to do? Because mind you, Reece Walsh, he actually had injured his knee during the game. He got shifted out to the wing, but he still manages. He obviously wanted to get the depth on the kick. It was into the wind as well. And he kicks it dead, Aupiki. Is that hard to do?
Nah, it's pretty easy for me to do.
You've
That's
done
what I
it
was
before.
known for, bro.
No.
Kicking the ball out on the pool. Either dead or out. I've done it like 50 times. And as soon as he did, you just know, you're like, that's flying way too far.
So you know as soon as you've...
Yeah, as soon
made
as you
contact,
strike it,
yeah.
you're like, nah, it's going out, bro.
I've lost the game.
And you could see him standing under the post, watching the kick go. He slaps his hands. He's like, damn it. But yeah, it's moments like that, and
And on the reverse side of that, as soon as it goes out, if you see the footage, Luke Metcalf immediately says we're going for the 2 and backs himself. I mean, that's got to take a lot of confidence. I think he was only 1 from 4 or 5 conversions so far that game.
Yeah.
And he's got to kick in extra time to win it for the Waz. As a fan, Jordan, what are you thinking when we make this decision out there on the field?
Just shout outs to Luki Mikiafu, our Samoan international, seems to be. He, I don't know, when you're a young fella.
must have been the Polynesian, because it was Polynesian week.
They were celebrating Pacifica.
The Toops were with them, bro.
The Toops
all around the Moana, bro.
all around Hawaii, bro.
They were with young Luki. And I don't know, I always think back when we talked about it a few episodes ago about doing that whole young person out on the court or out on the field, and you're playing that final game, last minute winning kick.
Yeah.
I imagine that was the same for him. But then, like you said, Coco, he wanted it.
Yeah.
He rose to the occasion, like many Samoans do, donning the Warriors jersey. But it was, as a fan, you couldn't be any happier. And then that confidence rolling forward now, I'm looking forward to seeing what's next for him as well. And then hearing him talk. Did you see the that cool little interaction? Adam Reynolds spoke about him as well. And then Luke spoke about him. And it was that's really cool. That respect level as well, and understanding what that's like in those moments, even from your position. I thought that was really nice little touch.
Yeah, I agree. I want to know what your reaction was at home when you realised that we had won the game, because I can tell you the whole Go Media Mount Smart Stadium erupted. The Warriors team song was playing, just everyone, there were flags, but everything was being thrown in the air. Everyone was up, excited. Yeah. What were you doing when that happened? There
was a few chahoos and a few F-bombs.
Hey!
Just so elated, so happy. So, that's what I was up to. What about you?
I was the same, bro. Yeah. I was like, one, for him stepping up, that's ballsy, especially if you're having a bad night, and taking that shot. And, I was just really happy for him. Starting to grow on me, the bro, Ruki. Just big. Those are, that's the gritty, that's the difference. And that's how close the competition is. I know it's early rounds, but later in the competition, you'll go back to those moments. And big mihi to the bro, and it's good to see Shawnee there watching in the crowd too with his Warriors jersey on.
That's it. Good to see them out supporting the bro. We spoke about Adam Pompey playing 100 games. I just want to know from both of you, my partai quickly, your favourite or your best warrior to play 100 games for the Warriors. There's only 31 players who have done it. Up here, I'll come to you first. Your favourite or the best warrior in your eyes to have played 100 Warriors games?
Yeah, that's a pretty prestigious list, starting with Stacey Jones, I think in 99, he got his 100 games, and 31 players, it's a pretty tough list to be on. But one player that stands out for me, and I was lucky to spend a bit of time with him, was Sam Rapira, Sammy Raps, and obviously you've played with the bro too. But I think just the way Sammy carries himself back then, now, he's a solid papa, and he's just one of those players that you want to play with. I've always grown up and heard that whakatauki in different teams, be that player that people want to play with, and he was always that player. Whenever I got to rub shoulders with him, I just felt that mana, and big mihi to the bro, and he's probably be my one.
Jordan, for you?
Mine's straight up just bias. There's some great players on that list, bro. It's a pretty prestigious list, but I'm going with the Huntley Hurricane, Lance Hohaio.
Nice.
Like growing up, that name, Lance, and just to see what he was able to do, but inspire a lot of us boys back in the Waikato. He was big for us, and then we obviously got his mural, big mural of him up in Rahui Pōkeka in Huntly. So, mine's going to be Lance Hohaio.
Legend.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'll go Jazz Tavanga for me, one of the modern day ones, just one of the brothers who, just gave everything he could for the club, grew up here, loved being part of it, and was just always a good brother to have around. So I'll go Jazz, even though he's left us to go over to the Sea Eagles. But
Manly.
Over to Manly. Right, let's move on to rugby. Our rugby roundup. I'll start with the Crusaders beating the Blues.
Who cares?
Yeah, Penny's not here. Are we obliged to do the rugby?
Crusaders, schmooshaders.
No, I actually did watch that game.
So did I.
That was a good game.
Just kidding.
The Blues did turn up to play. They went right down to the wire, and they were the same as the Wars. They were, they lost a few players early on, and they were just in the fight, and that's hard to do in Christchurch against the Crusaders.
True.
Like, that's rare.
It's a tough place to go
And
to.
it came down to, a scrum right in front of the post on the 80th minute. Some experienced props against some young bulls, and they got the penalty, and James O'Connor kicked the winning penalty. But shout out to the Blues. I still reckon that they're going to peak.
You reckon?
I still reckon they're coming. If they can, put on a performance like that against one of the best teams, they'll be in amongst it in the back end.
How was that Hoskins to Tutu flick pass off the back of that scrum? I actually missed it completely. I think the cameras missed where it went until they went back to the replay. But
did you see it, bro?
No.
Oh, bro,
you have to see it.
Just picks it up and then just flicks it and just spins out, bounce, catch, try.
Damn.
And that was to get them back in the game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then just in other rugby news, the Drua beat the Waratahs. Moana Pacifica, big donut against the Brumbies. The Chiefs flogged the Landers, and the Canes and the Force was a draw. That's also possibly another reason why Pity isn't here. His Canes, he doesn't want me to ask him the tough questions again this week. But Uppy, you did mention James O'Connor. He got the kick to win for the Crusaders, and we spoke about Luke Metcalf getting the kick for the Warriors. So my partai to both of you, who is your clutch kicker ever? If you had to choose someone to kick for your life or for a bet or whatever it may be, anyone past or present, Jordan's putting his hand on Uppy.
No, I'll back myself. If I'm kicking for my life, I'm kicking it myself. Just get that confidence like Ricky's.
So you're going yourself, or you're going to...
Oh, if it's all my life, yeah, I'd probably go for myself. I'd
Nice.
back
That's
myself.
the confidence we like.
Just go for it. Yeah, I'd back myself. But some favourite kickers would probably be Percy Montgomery, South African. Yeah, I used to always, like as a young kid, watching him goal kick because he could boot a ball. And one of the bros, Otere Black, he's, I grew up with the bro, and I've seen he's put in the hours, and he's become a really good goal kicker. So I'd back the bro to sort a few over too.
Nice. Jordan?
Probably stock standard answer, DC.
Yeah, I was thinking DC.
Yeah, nothing. He is special, but nothing special from me. I mean, he's like one of, and everyone's probably top 3 in terms of goal kicking. But I was trying to go back into the Ra.
Oh. Who you got?
Hazem El Masri.
Yes.
Oh, Hazem.
Yeah.
I used to love watching him, especially kick it from the sideline for the Bulldogs, all the fans hanging over the fences.
Yeah. El Masri for me, he was just one of those guys. He was like a favourite, I didn't care that he played for the Doggies or whatever, but it was cool to see him kick and just his style. And I don't know, wingers in league, right, that's not uncommon for them to be kickers. It's
hard
back in the days anyway.
Yeah.
But I think about Matt Rogers
Yes.
as well. But yeah, Hazem El Masri. Yeah.
Remember Luke Burt?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a good goal kicker too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I like Hazem El Masri. I might change mine to his. I had DC or like a Johnny Wilkinson, even a Matt Giddo, but I might go Hazem.
Copy.
Ooh,
Oh, I'm just saying.
So you'd go rugby kicker.
Yeah.
Who's better? Who's got the best kicker?
Well, we know who teaches the rugby boys, don't we?
Yes.
Halligan.
Yeah, exactly. And I was thinking of DJ too, because he still has he had an amazing record when he was a player, and now he coaches everyone. He's coached Dan Carter. He coaches a lot of rugby boys.
So does that mean rugby league?
Well, maybe this is a part-time for the listeners.
Rugby union how to defend too, aren't we?
All these block plays we're seeing.
Yeah.
No, we won't get into that.
We'll leave it there.
Petty's going to come back blazing.
Yeah, he might not come back after this. All right, moving on. I want to know about the basketball, Jordan, and what is happening. We've got the Souths NBL.
Yeah.
Can you update us, please, on that?
First of all, I just want to make a shout for the sport of basketball, Poitu Kohu. I don't know if it's still one of the fastest growing sports in the country. It is, still. And like even...
Actual.
Yeah.
True.
I think the participation level might have surpassed Union. I don't know about that. I don't know the stats, but
it's up there.
Yeah, and we also had the Easter tournament, actually, which I've also won as well. Just throwing that out there.
Another great win.
But yeah, the Souths NBL basketball. I'm a huge Wellington Saints fan. I don't know if people know this or realise, but I'm not even from Wellington.
Yeah, so how did this happen?
So
you lived there?
Yeah, so that's the team that my old man played for.
Okay.
So that's how it started. And I was a young fella who used to dance at the halftime court with Magilla the gorilla.
Go on.
Used to cut a rug kill.
Cut a court, yeah.
But so the Saints are at the top of the table, followed by the Canterbury Rams, and then we got Franklin Bulls. Shout outs to Franklin area. They put the counties and counties Manukau out in the south side. But it's been really cool watching the talent coming through as well, the young ones coming through. And then we still actually have a whole lot of, especially Māori kids, playing in the NCAA or playing in college US basketball as well that aren't even here to play in our professional league. But the comp's going well. We're still early days, so we're only in amped April. It goes up to July. But, shout outs to the Saints. And then we got the expansion team.
Yes, tell me about them.
The Indian Panthers kill.
What's this one?
So they're a team, so they're our first expansion team to come to New Zealand. They're from the Indian National Basketball League.
Yeah.
And they're basically like professionals from India that are playing in our competition. So they're sending all of their pros over.
And are they based where?
Takanini?
In Auckland here.
Yeah, in Tamaki.
True.
So the other cool, fun little fact for random is that apparently outside of India, Aotearoa might actually have one of the biggest communities of Indian people as well. So
True.
it was kind of like a logical choice to come here as well. But they're at the bottom of the table.
But they did.
How's
they didn't
my
have,
Manawatu Jets going?
Keep doing karakia for them.
maybe that's a problem.
Holy
But the
hecka.
Indian team, it is great to have them here, and the expansion for basketball here in Aotearoa. They did have a difficult start to the season. You're laughing because there were visa issues, and then some of the one of the
Are they
coaches.
calling up the Whanangas to come play?
Well, no,
Players?
because obviously anyone could play for them. So I feel like
Yeah.
a general manager or a coach, some people here filled in for them, didn't they?
Yeah, so you got, obviously they've got to sort out the visa stuff to be here, but also the national Indian team are in camp.
Yeah.
So a lot of their players are actually attending that as well.
Yes.
So they put the call out to the East Coast actually, bro.
Nah,
They got some players. But so they had to call in a few local boys,
Yeah.
Aotearoa-based players, which was cool.
Which was
though.
cool to see
Yeah,
because there
that's
were some past and present. So
yeah. Shout out to the cousin Leon Henry. He was
Yes.
the captain at
Yep.
the moment.
They need players. I'll be keen.
have you played basketball?
Yeah, I
Oh.
have. Yeah, I was a bit of a
Kicker.
Manawatu rep. To turn up from rugby training, and my coach used to be like, "Get on the line, suicides, boy."
Yeah.
That's what I think of basketball is doing suicides.
I'd actually back up you on that. I reckon you would have been a gun. Like league,
Nah.
the conversion from basketball to league for myself was pretty cool because in basketball, right, you can pass the ball forward and backwards, and then going back to league, you kind of limited to only passing backwards. So I was out here doing the old Hoskins Satutu left, right, and centre. But I'll back you, cool.
Nah. I used to love basketball. Like my best mate's dad, he was the coach of the Manawatu Jets, Papa Joe Frost, who passed away a few years ago. But he was a bit of a legend in our community, and we always and my mate, he was the ball boy, so he would have been like you, bro. Going to all those games. He was always the one who got picked for the halftime show to shoot the halfway show. Still waiting to get picked for one of those shots. But I loved basketball growing up, and got to meet some pretty cool people and go to some tournaments.
Yeah. There's a few games happening in school holidays as well, so whānau out there, you got something to do with your tamariki. There's games basically played in most of the big cities anyway. Even out in Tauranga, the Tauranga Whai, which
Nice,
is
yep.
like one of our recent franchises, but there's a few games out there. And speaking of games, I just want to put a wero out there to all our viewers. If you fellas want a game around the world, I'm a bit of you can go back to Kaore and ask about me, whānau. Kaore around the world champion, but I'm actually keen to actually challenge a few people out there if they're keen, and if you beat me, I might even make you a custom creative Tyro bucket hat.
Nice.
Putting the wero out there, so if you're watching, let me know. Any place, any time, your court, home court, away court, whatever. We're lacing up. You're getting the smoke.
Anywhere.
Anyway, I might even bring my dad.
I might actually take you up on
Oh,
that.
here we go. We're not accepted.
Where do accept it?
Just get a crew, eh? Yup, there's a handshake.
Because I love those bucket hats, and if you haven't seen them, like how did that come about, bro? Is that one of your passions, or what's the korero behind all that?
Yeah, obviously creative dude. Creative is in the name. Creative Tyro.
Thanks for clearing that one up.
It's been a long day.
Clarify that, but obviously, like combining the passion for fashion. Wow, we're rhyming now.
Yep.
But then also rugby league as well, and just converting. So the first, I thrifted this Manly Sea Eagles rugby league jersey, one of the old war mold ones, not even P&O, even going back further. And someone's daughter must have like turned it into a crop top. And I was like, oh, well, I can't wear this. And none of the other bros are going to want to wear this. So what should I do with it? So it's flipped it into a bucket hat, into a portai. And then figured out that there's actually a big I get demand for it, so I started supplying whānau
And
out there.
I see you use like a sewing machine, bro. Like last time I saw a sewing machine was probably my mum's one in the 90s.
Oh,
Like,
okay, thanks.
like, how did you get into that, bro? Like, that's quite a rare thing especially for Tani.
Tani, yeah.
Like,
Hard
what's
out.
been the
Self-taught?
inspiration
Yeah, all self-taught. Just the University of YouTube.
Straight
yeah,
up.
yeah.
Hey.
Just hototu, bro.
Hey.
Like, I'm sure you'd be the same as well, right? Like, just you get into something, you could put your mind to it, and you back yourself like Luki Mikiafu, and then
Follow your dreams.
just follow your dreams and have a jam. But it's one of those skills too that I've like taken over to, like, now mum's got a pile of stuff she wants hemmed.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got a
Oh, here we go.
Can I give you some stuff to me?
Oh, well, since I'll take that word up,
Here we go.
I'm going to take this off. This is
Oh.
what you're making, bro.
There's a shirt coming off in the studio.
Make a bucket hat out of this, whānau. Hopefully, I win
Okay.
around the world. Word up.
It's a Ngāti Paro singlet.
There we go. Hopefully, I get the dub. But where do you get your kākahu from? Like, do you get much people coming in and asking for?
Yeah. Yeah, we go. People, whānau from all over, even Australia. I've had people in like Germany,
Hey,
England, Hawaii, California. They just want to send me stuff. So they'll send it to me, and then I'll just turn it into a portai for them. And some of them are real touching too. Like I remember one brother from Taranaki. He had actually lost his daughter, and to kind of keep her memory alive, he sent me her touch uniforms, and I turned it into a portai for him.
beautiful.
And it was a real touching moment. But you got those kind of stories as well, where people are sending me stuff that like it means so much to them, but they can't fit it. Or
I wanted to ask that because sometimes does it break your heart a little when you've got like these old beautiful vintage
Yeah.
jerseys and they're asking you to cut them up?
so there is a tikanga behind it.
Oh, yeah.
So anything in terms of the wars, yeah, I'm not cutting it.
Hey.
Yeah, so
Ah.
if it's like a retro one, like a modern make one,
Yeah.
or a bootleg one, like a fake,
Yeah.
I'll cut it up. All
Okay.
good. But if it's like a legit Wars jersey,
You won't.
I'm not going to touch it. Unless, like the person giving it to me has like a real good reason, and like, yeah. And if it's a common jersey and there's heaps of them out
Okay.
there, I'm like, okay, all good. But no, I won't cut up the Wars, especially the vintage stuff. Any other team, yeah, nah. Cutting you up.
Those
cuz.
Broncos.
Yeah. Easy.
Talking about that memorabilia stuff, like, have you got any stuff from when you were playing that you've sort of kept in the frame, or, thinking you're an auaha person, you're a creative person, like, what's some of the creative ways you've seen people, store in their memorabilia?
Mostly like frames, right?
Frames,
like
yeah.
you see them up at the club rooms,
Yeah,
especially,
yeah.
right? All those frames. But I got my old man's, I want to say 1987 Tall Blacks jersey. I still got it. It's like Adidas, real skinny one. And I've got it hanging up in the garage mahal. So that one's a real special one.
So hanging up just on the coat hanger, sort of not framed.
No, not framed.
Yeah, see, I had that for Carl too, e te whānau. I was like, no, I've got all my jerseys.
Oh, no.
A
And I was
few,
like,
a couple.
When I have my own whare and my own garage, I have my own man cave, and then
Your garage mahal.
I'll hang them up in my garage mahal. I'll hang them up. But then I think it was my sister sort of said, she was like, no, don't do that. And I was like, why? It's like, because when you have parties, people will get drunk, and I'll be like, oh, can I take that, bro? And then you'll be like, yeah, bro. And then next minute,
Yeah.
Well,
you got
they were all
nut
wearing them at the party.
She's got your
it's gone
back, bro.
tippy high there.
Yeah, 100%.
But, that was I have a thing, like, the framing takes a lot of space in your on the wall, eh? So thinking of creative ways to,
Yes.
and a portai is a pretty cool idea, bro.
Thank you, bro.
So I might flick you a few jerseys.
We'll see how we go at this around the world, eh?
Maybe
Never
that is
know.
another
Time
one for
and
the
place.
listeners. What do we do with our sports memorabilia if we don't want it to be cut up? Because I've got some stuff framed, but there's a lot of stuff I don't have framed. It's all at mum and dad's, just in my wardrobe there, hanging up. But
Did
Yeah.
you get given your dresses per game or per season or like what
Yeah,
was?
so it's per season, which is different to rugby league, right? Because you guys get them per game. You walk into the sheds and they're there
They're there
for
yeah,
you. No,
washed
so
and done. Yeah.
yeah, must be nice.
Oh, so,
You get for us.
Wait.
You get. It might have changed now.
Yeah.
You get 2 dresses for the season.
and you wash it yourself?
Yes.
Oh,
We
wow.
look after it. We take it home. We put it in our backpacks when you get on the plane, just in case your luggage doesn't make it. You have to have your plane dress in your backpack so that you can still play. So yeah, you got your 2 dresses, and you usually have an away strip as well. But yeah, even for the Silver Ferns, because you never have an away dress. Yeah, it's pretty
Even
much,
for the ferns.
yeah.
Holy.
But they
Hey,
might,
wow.
depending on the design, if design changes. But yeah, you only get
I like that
A
for
couple.
Carl, but I know, speaking on behalf of the brothers wouldn't be able to do that. Like, they can't even remember their boots.
yeah.
You know, like
Mouth
it'll be too
guard.
many- mouth guard.
Bruh.
Bruh, the amount of, so imagine not having your jersey, you won't be playing, boy.
Yeah.
So,
What, like, were there moments where people did forget?
Well, the manager has a spare, and obviously, if you get blood as well, you have to change your dress during the game.
Okay.
So there's a blood dress. So there are spare dresses, but I mean, could be who knows what size. Might not necessarily be your size.
Yeah.
So you usually have your dress that you're playing in, and then if you wanted to, you could have your spare one in your backpack just in case.
Nah, yeah, I'm with you.
and
bro.
did you ever like swap your dresses with other countries or other players from other teams? Was that a thing?
No,
Is that a
because well, essentially you're still wearing it.
Yeah,
but then
obviously
Also,
not-
but
not-
then also, if you only got 2, you want to
tonga,
keep
yeah.
them. It's it's your tonga, and you might want to give one to your whānau and you keep one, or give one, to
True.
people who've supported you. So
Yeah, I've stolen a
There's-
few jerseys. in my time.
that part was coming, bro.
I've kept a few jerseys in my time, kill. Shout out to Putaki Stags.
Right. The amount of jerseys that go missing.
yeah, I bet. Just while we're on the netball, we did have the Aotearoa Māori netball tournament in Wellington on the weekend. Shout out to Yvette McCausland Jury. Her premier side won Ikaroa ki te raki. And then Tamaki Makoto won the 13s and 15s, and Tainui won the 17s and 19s.
There we go.
What about Ngāti Porou? Did they place or?
Yeah, I'm unsure, sorry. That might be the next one.
Nah, I just want to touch on Yvette and Nathan Jury, who are now the 2 leaders at Tipene, and bringing up that next generation.
Wicked.
They started the kaupapa of Manukura, so they're real pillars in Māori education and Māori high performance sport too. So big mihi to them and the mahi they're doing for the boys, year 9s
Yeah.
and 10s, I think, or year 9s at Tipene. And, they've proven, in the last 10, 20 years that they are the elite of the elite at, producing some talent. So, and she's still giving back to,
Yeah.
our Ikaroa girls. So shout out to Vet and Nathan for the mahi that they continue to do for our people too.
Nice. And just to wrap it up, Tūhoi Ahure was on the weekend. Stacey Waka was there. on
Kawero
top.
was there. Bro, I buzzed out at the Whittle. Like, I've never seen that before.
Oh, really?
Nah, that's my first. So I was clipping through and watching all the different Whittle, and
I'll be honest, so obviously living in Kawerau for quite some time, we would go to all the ahure around the coast and Tūhoi as well. And it was the first time for me as well when I first saw it, and then you kind of get used to it. But it's definitely like one of the highlights.
yeah.
And we saw a few of them online, and some of them perpetuate the stereotype. But that's always good to see how people come together and celebrate there. Shout outs to Tūhoi.
Hard out. And ahakoa te huarere, even though it was
Right.
raining, it brings our communities, and also seeing, some of our stars, such as Stacey Waka, going back and giving back to their communities and being present there. It's awesome to see them, and that's something I'm really proud about is when we go back to our iwi and give back to our iwi, and so shout out to the Tūhoi people, and looking forward to our Ngāti Pro one in a couple of months.
There is the tournament this weekend, New Zealand.
Yes, yep. So school holidays. Bro, may I ask how school holidays?
Busy, bro.
Is your girl still at Kura or?
Yep. Oh, no, she's with me now for the holidays, but bro, my wallet's getting empty real quick. Holy wreck.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, school, we got our rangatahi for our kōtiro and our rangatahi girls Māori Rugby League tournament Rotorua. That's probably where I'm going to see Piri next e te whānau.
This weekend?
This weekend. My under-15s will be taking on his under-15s team. So
Maybe that's where he is. Maybe he's at training.
maybe he is.
Coaching them.
He's putting in the time, I think. I think he's scared.
But it will be live streamed, so you can watch it online at Te Whānau. I'm going to give you two both a second to think about your sharp as moment of the week or your sharpen up moment. While I say this is the final days for the Stealth Fighters League 2 giveaway in Auckland. It's for our listeners in the South Island, thanks to Stealth Fighters League and Coco Media. They're giving away a trip, 2 flights, accommodation, VIP tickets to come up to Tamaki Makaurau and watch Stealth Fighters League. So it's MMA in Auckland on the 3rd of May. So go and follow Stealth Fighters League on Instagram. It's the last couple of days to get a free trip up to Auckland. All right. Sharp as or sharpen up moments of the week?
Sharp moment for me, sharp as moment of the week was probably last night. Para and Tigers.
Yeah.
Para team gets up, but the moment of the game was Josh Erokar's intercept. It was going to be 26-22 or something like that, and he just made that big play. And those get forgotten real quick, so I just wanted to highlight that. And me to my Para Eels team.
Nice. Had to get that in there.
Sharp as moment for me was seeing the Samoans dominate at WrestleMania.
Yes.
Like our Polynesian brothers over there.
WrestleMania.
Yeah, that was me.
I'm only in my
actually.
30s and still watching fake fighting, but just the WrestleMania and seeing the Pacifica kind of representation.
Yeah.
Like it's one of the biggest things in America, but also for nerds like me who like
No, it
watching
was huge.
men in their undies doing flips in the ring. But that was a big sharp as moment for me, like just to see our Pacifica people thriving at that. I think one of the Uso brothers won the heavyweight championship title, and then Jacob Fatu won the United States title bout as well. So I'm really exposing my nerdy self right now. But that's my sharp as moment, WrestleMania and Pacifica people representing on that stage.
Nice. And I'll wrap it up with our wahine. Mine is Portia Woodman-Whitcliffe making herself available for the black jersey. And then I'll go with Yvette McCausland-Jury winning yet again the Aotearoa Māori Netball tournament. Big thank you to our sponsor Groove Bar. Any other sponsors that want to jump on board and sponsor us, get in touch at Te Whānau. But that's another week for us. Hopefully we're all back next week, eh?
Hey, Piri.
I might have a week off next week.
Ka kite Te Whānau.
Cheer.